Shalom everybody. In today's video, we will be revealing the first gate of the 50 gates of understanding. Now I'd like to give a small announcement. We recently opened up a WhatsApp group for the public community. If you are interested in this type of material or want to learn more or perhaps have announcements and have access to those announcements before everyone else, feel free to join the WhatsApp community group. In addition, a website is being developed in order to access transcripts from various videos, QR codes to the various safers, and much more, including even an augmented reality program which will allow you to actually see Aleph separates Mem from Shin. I will leave a link to that website down below. By clicking the three little lines in the top left-hand corner of the website, scroll down and you'll see something called Interact, and you'll be able to see this AR program that will show you Aleph separates Mem from Shin in augmented reality. So definitely go give that a try. Again, a free PDF copy of this Sefer is available via the QR code at the beginning of this video. Without further ado, let's begin. Shalom everyone. So we are beginning gate 13 on page 142, the 50 gates of understanding. We learned in our previous gate the secret of the mother's Torah, which is called Raita the Bria, or the Torah Beria. We learned how this relates to the construct Torah, or the mother's Torah. Now it reads here, construct Torah called meat. It is formed from tree, which refer to the worlds. An example, Atziluth, Buri, Yetzir, and Asiya. Fruit, which refer to the Sfirot. An example, Kether, Hokmah, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevur, Tifras, Netzach, Kod, Sod, and Malchus. And seed, which refers to the Partsufim. An example, Adam Kadman, Atik Yomin, Arikain Pin, Israel Saba, Israel Tabuna, Abba, Ima, Zaraim Pin, Nukva, etc. Containing tree refers to the sub-Sephirot, and to you it shall be for meat, an example of the tree, which we learned is the secret of the garden and how to walk through Gan Eden by interpreting the Torah through these levels. Now we read here, Atzilus, Beria, Yetzira, and Asiya. Corresponding to these worlds are expansions of the divine name of God, Yod He Vav He, which can be expanded in a variety of different ways. When it is expanded with the letter Yod, it corresponds to Atzilus. The totality of the gematria value of its expansion is 72, and is thus referred to as the 72 name. Beria corresponds to the four-letter name Yod He Vav He when it is expanded with the letter Yud and Aleph. The totaling value here of its gematria is 63 and is referred to as the 63 name. The world of Yetzira corresponds to the divine name when it is expanded with Aleph and has a total value of gematria 45. And Asiya, which corresponds to the divine name of Hashem when it is expanded with its own letters, an example, He He, Vav Vav, He He, numerical value of which is 52. Thus, Atziluth, Beria, Yetzir, and Asiya correspond to the 72, 63, 45, and 52 name. Furthermore, The level of the eyes corresponds to Atzilus, the level of the ears to Berea, the level of the nose to Yetzirah, and the level of the mouth to Malchus. This respectively is sight, hearing, smell, and speech. We see on page 144 an image of a tikkun demonstrating the use of the divine names. We see the 72-letter name is hinted at here. And we see the names Yod He Vav He expanded with the letter Yod. And we can see here Shem Ayin Beis, or the name of 72. And we see that it's connected to the sphere of Chokmah and traversing to Chesed. Now Chesed also has a numerical value of 72, which hints to this connection here. On the opposite side, an example from Bina, the Partsufim called Ima, we see Shem Samek Gimel, or the name of 63, corresponding to the 63-letter name. One of the names of Gevurah is Din. Din has a numerical value of 64, which would be the 63 name, Im Kolel, meaning one for its totality, which would then be 64. We can see from here the 45 name, which corresponded to Yetzirah, or Zorainpin, the central sphirot of which is Tiferet. Thus, surrounding Tiferet, we see the pathways of the 45-letter name, as shown here. And down here we see the name of 52, corresponding connecting to the last sphere of Malchus, as it was shown. We see here Yod He Vav He and Shem Beis Nun, hinting to this. If one probes the secret to this tikkun, they will gander to see many wondrous secrets. So we arrive on page 145, an introduction into the 50 gates. This book contains information of the most sensitive nature. It will reveal aspects of reality in a way that is forward and recognizable. I advise you, the reader, to move on, only after understanding each respective section. Each tikkun provided should be recognizable, and one should only progress to the next section after coming to the conscious awareness of the respective tikkun. To say this is a book is diminishing the essence of its contents. It is far more than that. To be blunt, it is a door to the inner worlds, presented in 50 gates of understanding. I assume you, the reader, are familiar with Sefer Year 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of which can be found at bookbaby.com/book/Sefer Yira. It is to your glory, Hashem, that this is revealed. May the light of your glory be known, and may the nations be gathered. I will provide a link down below for those that would like to obtain copies of the various Sefer Yira series if they are interested. Gate 1, the 22 Hebrew letters, the first gate of the 50 gates of understanding. On page 146, we see a beautiful representation of one of the supernal elons. Elon is the Aramaic word for tree. This particular elon is roughly 45 feet long, and this scroll was written in 7 days and 7 nights. It contains some of the deepest secrets. God willing, as we continue through our series, we may return to it to perceive the depth of what is being revealed. Page 147. The Zohar says in Book 15 in Achemot, Section 50, it is prohibited to teach the Torah to the uncircumcised. 303. Come and see. The first subject of the Torah we give to children is the alphabet. This is a matter that mankind cannot comprehend, nor can it rise in their minds, not to mention saying it with their mouths. Even supernal angels and the most sublime cannot comprehend it, as these matters are the mysteries of the holy name. It thus states here, 303, Achemot, Book 15, page 367. Come and see, the first subject of the Torah we give to children is the alphabet. This is a matter that mankind cannot comprehend, nor can it rise in their minds, not to mention saying it with their mouths. Even supernal angels and the most sublime cannot comprehend it. For this reason, I completely and utterly reject the idea that anyone knows the mysteries of these letters. In addition, it states that the angels themselves do not know the secret of these letters, neither do the supernal and most sublime things above them know anything about these letters. And for this reason, these things will only be revealed at the advent of Mashiach. Thus it states in Book 18, Shlach Lecha, Section 43, the alphabets and the names, 288. All these letters never rest. They stand out and sparkle externally and rise and descend. No one could understand anything about them except for Messiah with great toil. The synopsis, the alphabets and the names. We hear of the movement and permutation of the alphabets as the letters fly in the air. No one can understand them except for Messiah. Again, 288. All these letters never rest. They stand out and sparkle externally and rise and descend. No one could understand anything about them except for Mashiach with great toil. Now that these things have been established, neither the angels know these things, nor the sublime, certainly not human beings, and no other person, except it should be revealed at the time of Mashiach, because Mashiach will reveal them with great toil. To say anyone or anything else has any understanding about these letters is simply delusion. Thus we read in Zohar Book 11, Truma states in 472, but in the temple, an example Bina, the mother's Torah, all the letters dwell, and the temple was created through the letters alone, equal to all of existence. Just as existence was created with the letters, so too was the temple created through the letters alone, each having a particular place. With this, we can understand the cryptic passage of Baal Chaturim when he elucidated on the Chumash, specifically regarding the word Bereshis. He says, in the beginning, these letters can be rearranged to spell Beis Rosh, the first house, implying that the Beis HaMikdash, the holy temple, was first. An example, preceded the creation of the world. As it is said, the throne of glory exalted from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. And this is because, as it was related before in Truma, section 42 here, it states the following. 472. It states, but in the temple all the letters dwell, and the temple was created through them alone, equal to the whole world. Meaning the temple was only created through the letters. Just as the whole world was created with all the letters, with every letter having a particular place, so is the temple individually created with all the letters by itself. Meaning the temple of God that preceded existence were the 22 Hebrew letters. Likutei continues, it is also stated, what separates Israel from the other nations? They were given a script. We must understand from these statements that the source of Israel and their relationship with God, Hashem, comes about through the Lashon HaKodesh, the holy language, in which God spoke and brought forth existence. An example of Vayomer Elohim Yehior V'Yehior, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Furthermore, the letters which comprise that holy language. We see neither mankind nor the angels know their secrets, and we also read that Mashiach will reveal their mysteries when he arrives. Zohar, Book 20, Pinchas A, a section called A Third Temple is not mentioned in the Torah. We read, the Holy One, blessed be he, will bring down the first temple, Bina, which is the mother's Torah, and will be concealed, and the second temple, which is Malchus, an example, the oral Torah, and Kabbalah, will be in the open. That house that is called the second temple, an example, Malchus, the oral Torah, will be opened so that the art of the Holy One, blessed be he, will be visible to all of the world. Then there will be perfect rejoicing and goodwill in all of existence. Now that we have understood the significance of these letters, we may move to gate 2. The Zohar says in Book 20, Pinchas A, in this section, a third temple is not mentioned in the Torah. It states the following. But when they angered him in the wilderness, they died. And the Holy One, blessed be He, brought their children into the land, and the temple was constructed by man, which is why it did not last. For the building has to be the work of the Holy One, blessed be He. King Shlomo Melech, King Solomon, knew that the temple that he built was built by man and would not therefore last, which is why it is written, unless Hashem builds a house, they who build it labor in vain. Tehillim 127:1. And indeed, it no longer exists. In the days of Ezra, because of the sin, they had to rebuild the temple, which is why it had no lasting existence. And up until now, the first building of the Holy One, blessed be He, has not been placed in the world. But concerning the future, it is written, Hashem builds Yerushalayim, Tehillim 147:2. He will build and no other. It is for this building that we are waiting, and not for a man-made structure which has no permanence. We now understand this refers to the 22 letters, and mankind knows nothing about these mysteries. Neither do the angels or the supernal ones above it. And as it states explicitly, and up until now, the first building of the Holy One, blessed be He, has not been placed in the world. It continues on 149. The Holy One, blessed be He, will bring down the first temple and the second temple from on high simultaneously. The first temple, which is equivalent to Bina, will be concealed, and the second temple, which is parallel to Malchus, will be in the open. That house that is called the second temple will be in the open, so that the art of the Holy One, blessed be He, will be visible to the whole world, and then there will be perfect rejoicing and goodwill in all of existence. That temple, meaning the second temple, is the secret of the oral Torah. And when it is revealed in the secret of letters, it will be perceived by the many as art. And above that art will be the first temple, an example, the Mother's Torah, containing all the sublime atzil. To witness to the aforementioned statements, we see that the holy place, there were three objects here: the altar of incense, the menorah, and the shewbread. These respectively correspond to Aleph, Mem, and Shin. Aleph, meaning the air, corresponds to the altar of incense, which is the quality of the air. Mem, corresponding to liquids and solids, refers to the table of shewbread, which is a combination of these two things. The menorah corresponds to fire, or Shin, being Esh, the fire. Now there are 22 letters in the Lashon HaKodesh in the Hebrew alphabet. So we see the three mother letters correspond to the three objects themselves. The 7 double letters are hinted at by the 7 branches of the menorah, and the 12 elemental letters correspond to the 2 stacks of 6 shewbread, totaling 12. Thus we find 3 mother letters, 7 double letters, and 12 elemental letters are the secret of the Lashon HaKodesh, or the 22 Hebrew letters. It is indeed, as it was stated, the temple was made by the letters and the letters alone. This is the entire mystery behind these statements. God willing, in the future gates, we will expound on this much further. With all of this being said, this concludes our first gate of the 50 gates. A free PDF copy of this Sefer is available via the QR code during the intro segment to this video, as well as physical copies that are available at bookbaby.com and a few of them through amazon.com. With all these things being said, as is written of David HaMelech, open my eyes that I may behold the wonders of your Torah. Shalom and Selah.